24 boys. What are you gonna do? What are your new plans for this summer? If you have any new things going on this year.
It's a good one. You go first, Jared.
New plans. Let's see. Well,
new Jared moments.
I'd really like to go hiking more, honestly, because I love the warm weather. So I do want to go outside and play a lot of Pokemon Go, hatch a lot of eggs. It's really the only reason why I give a shit about going.
I was gonna say you don't look like
That's
a hiker,
not
but now that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not like I have a dog to walk.
You want
to
catch Pokemon?
Yeah,
just say that. Don't.
Put the windows down in my car and just do that shit. And swim. I love swimming. Yeah.
Pool. Or
pool, but a friend's pool, not a public pool.
All right, that's better.
Well, I'd rather go to the beach if I can.
Right, yeah, you just go to the beach.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, of course. What about you?
Yeah. The beach. That's exactly.
Beach.
Yeah, I'm going to the beach.
Okay,
I'm going to the beach as many times as possible.
Heck yeah.
Well, it's gonna be summer, so at that point we'll be a ways into this podcast, and we will have we'll be able to jam out to our podcast with the windows down.
We're gonna have 100K followers by summer.
Oof, okay.
That's
bold.
You heard it here first.
100K.
Will calling his shot.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's 100K followers, guys. You heard that. Welcome to Karma and Tranquility. Alright guys, so we are firmly into episode 2 already. We've done an intro, we've done a trailer, we've done an episode 1, we've done a bonus episode 1. We're already at episode 2 of this podcast. How we feeling so far about this venture that we're on?
I quit. Nah.
Wait! Fuck, already.
It's been fun. It's been fun. I'll say that.
Yeah. Tell you that it's the only challenge has been it'd be awesome if you could do this on like a day off where we're not stressed and tired from being at work. That would definitely be something nice. But this is a good way to kind of de-stress in its own like avenue. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where the minute I sit down here and I start listening to music, I'm usually pretty good.
Hold on a second. You guys go to work?
Yeah.
I quit my job for this.
Oh my god, what have you done?
We did the same thing.
Now you guys definitely have to get the 100,000 followers.
Please follow.
Buy our merch that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah,
Support me.
I thought we talked about this. I'm so sorry.
So speaking of merch, I have a story from when I saw the Strokes in New York last year. We went to the venue, and for some reason their merchandise was incredibly limited, or just everyone wanted to buy it. Like, it was just like ridiculous. So I went to the first stand, and there was a shirt that I really wanted, and the line was like ridiculously long, but everyone was like, there was no line. It was just a giant mass of people.
Right.
So I did my best to like respectfully just insert myself somewhere and be like, okay, I don't know who's in line for the fucking food and the merch and the shitters. Like, I don't know what this line is.
It was in New York?
Right. It was in New York.
Oh,
it was in the Forest Hill Stadium. And I was in line, and this lady was like, yo, you're cutting. And she was being a huge, like, she was like really, she was on me. Like, she was like really invested in me like cutting. And I was like, I'm sorry, like I really wasn't trying to. I just did not know where the line was. And she's like, oh, you're cutting. I'm like, and she's like, what are you in line for? I'm like, the merch. She's like, oh, never mind, sorry. She was in line for the bathroom, and she was giving me shit about being in line. And then I got to the
hold
front.
on, but you guys. I'm confused. Like,
what?
You guys aren't going to the same bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm confused. Why was she?
She's like, you're in front of me, and you're gonna get the.
You're gonna get to the men's room before I get to the ladies' room.
Dude. No, it wasn't a men's room. It was porta potties.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
See, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was like,
no,
you're going in one, I'm going in the other.
But still, like, know what I'm there for before you start
before you
getting
come
in
at
my
my
face
neck,
about
yeah,
it.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I got to the desk, and the shirt that I wanted was out of stock. It was like a fucking course. So I went to the other stand, which was still just as fucking busy. And I got to the front, the shirt was out of stock again. And I'm a small guy, so like I have to have a medium or a small. So like, cool, I'll get a medium. I really wanted a small. Usually concert tees, they always run big, so I got a medium. This thing's like a fucking dress on me. Totally just burped as I said that. It's like a dress on me, and I'm like, dude, like, I went through all that shit. I was at least in line. We got there like 2 hours early. I was in line for merch for like an hour and a half of the 2 hours early. I was hoping to like sit down in my seat and just like relax for a little bit, because we walked all over the city the whole time, but no, I was standing in line for most of it. But their merch was like was awesome. And now, of course, all of it's on the website.
Okay, so a couple things that I want to know. One, how much was the shirt? And two, what was the shirt? Like, what was on it that you needed it? Like, I was standing in line, multiple lines for this shirt.
The
What was it?
the only reason why I cared is because it's a shirt that they released for that concert. Like, it was like the Strokes, Forest Hills.
So it's like
Stadium.
I was here.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
date.
It
Okay,
was custom
gotcha.
to that show. Every show had its own shirt.
Okay.
So it was limited, which I was like, well, I have to get that. So I got one, but it's upstairs. It's too big. It kind of looks like the Flintstones type lettering. It looks like a caveman type lettering, but then it
Okay.
says like Forest Hill Stadium and then the date on it.
And how much was it?
$40.
Okay, that's not bad. I'd
But
pay-
like usually that's like $40 for a t-shirt. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Pretty
so
standard.
I think it was 40, but there were ones up there that were like 50. And to be honest with you, I would have paid whatever because it was like you never know when these guys are fucking touring. They're not
Right.
on tour. They're
Right.
just there's Brendan. They're not on tour. They're just playing like these random shows, and that was just a random show that they played. They're like, cool, we're gonna play in Forest Hill Stadium, then we're gonna play here and play there, and that was one of them. So I was like, well, I gotta get a shirt for it.
Yeah.
And it was a phenomenal show. They played Why Are Sundays So Depressing for the first time, and Julian forgot 90% of it. That's okay, because I
He does
loved
that.
it. I know, and I loved it though still because the parts that he did remember sounded amazing, and the music sounded amazing, and I appreciated all of them for playing that song because that's like one of my top songs for sure. And then we saw the Arctic Monkeys that same year, and it was another scenario where we bought, I bought like 3 T-shirts at that concert, because I couldn't decide what was too big and what was too small. And their designs on their logos were amazing for all of them. So I was like, I'm just going to get one of each.
So while you guys were having the time of your lives watching these amazing bands, I was probably just doing something terrible, something I didn't want to do.
Yep.
Probably working some like shitty retail job, having
Yeah.
a horrible day.
We didn't know
So
you yet.
yeah, that's true. But next time,
Yeah.
we all have to go for sure.
Oh, 1,000%.
For sure, yeah.
It's kind of, now you bring that up, it's kind of annoying that we didn't know you because you could have been, you would have been there for
I would have been in
both.
there, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it was the stadium that we were at in Philly is an amazing like venue. Like it's a hill. It's kind of like the BB&T Stadium in Jersey. It's like outdoor but with an overhang.
Yeah.
And then a big like lawn section, and it was like lit up with those like nice.
What was it called?
It was the
Man?
Man.
Oh, the
The
Man.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Man Center. And it's in such a nice area of Philly. You don't got to go in the city. It's not like a shitty area. It's like on the outskirts. And the parking is great too.
Yeah.
Like it's just one big rock parking lot. You don't have to worry about like paying for parking. Wasn't it free? I think it was free.
It was free. We got there pretty early too. There
Yeah,
was,
we
only
did.
2
And
cars there.
the same guy kept telling us to park in different
You guys
spots.
were the third people there. Nice. I love
Well,
that.
we waited outside and before, and we saw the band, and we said hi to them. But they didn't come up to us. But they were walking to the bus, and we saw Alex, and we saw them all, and we waved to him, and he waved back at us.
That's so cool.
But like we stayed for so long, and everyone else like kind of died off. It was us and then like 2 other girls or something. And we made like friends with them, and it was cool. And we waited for like an hour and a half after the show, maybe longer actually.
It was like it was a little bit past midnight, I think.
Oh shit, yeah, it was
It was,
long.
it was a little long.
And
Like
they
we were
were
trying to see them pretty hard.
If one of us would have yelled out, I guarantee they might have come over to us. But
there
we
was-
were.
There was
Go
like
ahead.
10 of us in the beginning, and then
Yep.
like some people kept leaving, and then we were like, oh, what if there's like 5 of us? They'll probably come out because there's not a
Yeah.
whole crowd now.
They didn't come over to us.
Yeah. That's
Alex
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, Alex didn't come up to us, but the whole band was like walking to the bus, and he had his girl like under his arm, and he just like did one of those like kind of like
Yeah,
2
the
finger
waves,
hello
yeah.
things, and we were like, bro, and none of us like yelled over. We were just like, hi. Like if one of us just yelled like, hey guys, we were like, hey, can we get a picture with you? Like maybe they would have, but I think we were all just like too nervous. We didn't want to bug them. But we should have.
That would have been me. I would have been the one. Like, you guys are coming over here for sure.
The dog.
Like, that'll never happen again.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, next time we do this, we'll have to do the same exact thing, but have you with us. And
Yeah,
then-
I'll be the
Yeah.
guy. It's fine.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We had a lot of what I call dognical difficulties here. Brendan is a menace to the podcast so far. But yeah, so those are some great times. Really good venues, good concerts. I was on that topic because of merch, right? Yeah. But how are you guys today overall?
Not
How you
bad.
feeling?
I'm pretty excited to like keep going on to this, honestly.
Yeah, these are some pretty good songs we got coming up.
Yeah, these are two big ones.
Yeah. You guys got any comments on them before we start talking about it? We got the modern age today, and I bet you look good on the dance floor.
I just wanted to say, like, I was actually thinking about this. This is the song. I kind of talked about this the last episode, where I like to like put songs in a certain order. So I would have put the Modern Age as like the first song on the album, just by the way it's gonna sound if you listen to it. Just cause like if I was a band, I kind of would want that song to be like the first song that introduces us. My own personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with let's start with the Monkees this time. We started with the Strokes last time. I think that's a good little change up.
Change it up.
I bet you look good on the dance floor. It's the second song of their debut album. It came out on 10/17/2005. It was the first single of that album, written by Alex, of course. Did you know it was performed in the opening ceremony for the 2012 Summer Olympics?
No, for real.
I did know that, actually.
You did know that? Do you have any recollection of it?
Not really. I do remember seeing that at the time. And I just remember thinking it's a very strange choice, but it just shows you like the hype that was around them, even as young as they were. Like imagine that nowadays. Like they wouldn't do that. They'd pick someone like Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
not like a UK indie band. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's pretty impressive. But yeah,
I do like the halftime shows that they're kind of doing now, but like I just wish they picked like different bands and stuff, like instead of just one person.
right, yeah.
I still like some of their artists, but like yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
always,
it's cool.
It's
You
always the
won't-
same shit now.
Yeah, you won't ever see that ever again.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's always like, hey, let's get U2 to do this again for like
Right.
the 19th thing they've ever done. And they
Right.
sing the same fucking songs that they always sing. The one thing that was crazy that I saw about this song is it was ranked number 7 by NME on the 500 greatest songs of all time.
Wow.
Number 7.
Number 7.
That's
You know
crazy.
what? It makes so maybe just personal bias here, but like there are not that many songs. Right? I'm 34. There's not a lot of songs where I could remember the first time that I heard it, where I heard it. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Like it was a great song, a good like first intro for this band. I really can't off the top of my head think of another song where like I definitely remember like, yep, I remember the exact time, what I was feeling, all that stuff. So yeah, that actually makes sense for me personally.
I have no clue like what ranking like or what year. Maybe it's like maybe in 2012 that's what it was. I don't know if like lists like that go by like the year in terms of like the best tracks. I assume it's by the year because 500 greatest songs of all time at that time, if I'm looking at it right, like if I'm looking at the actual list right here, they're not on that, so I don't know. But Tame Impala was like big around that time if I'm looking at that right.
What year was that?
2012.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well that's the
The list.
the year where like the list was out.
Oh, okay.
And this album was 2006. So on here, that album though was number 1 by NME in
So
2006.
it clearly had like an impact on the music scene for
Yep.
sure.
The top 5 albums of that year, 2006, was Arctic Monkeys, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Muse's Black Holes and Revelations. I know that album very well. And the Strokes' First Impressions of Earth was number 8. My Chemical Romance's Black Parade was number 10.
Let's go. Okay.
That should be higher than
it should
10.
be higher. Yeah, that should be.
That's
probably
a
like
better
top
album
3.
than in First Impressions of
Right.
Earth. Yeah.
Right. But
Like-
I wonder how much of that is like a cultural. Like, where did this list originate from? Because if it's from like, let's say the UK.
I think NME is a UK thing.
Yeah, then that makes sense. Because like
Yeah.
you have like your Arctic Monkeys, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Where are they from? I don't think
know.
they're from the UK.
I think
but,
they're US.
But they have kind of like a more indie vibe than
Yeah.
like an emo band like My Chemical Romance at the
Yeah.
time. So I'm not that shocked, but yeah, it should be higher.
The Killers, Sam Town, Panic at the Disco, Fever,
There we
Can't
go.
Sweat Out. That was number
Great.
13. There's a lot of good stuff going on this year, 2006, when this came out. Albert Hammond, the guitarist from the Strokes, he had an album on here, number 34. His solo
Really?
album was on there for ranking on there. So 2006 was a big deal.
That sounds like a bonus episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Albert's stuff will definitely touch on that. He has some pretty good solo stuff. I like his stuff. Tom York is on here for his solo stuff. So 2006, great year, but this song, one of the best opening tracks that they've ever had, or sorry, not opening tracks, sorry, one of the best singles they've ever had. 'Cause if you look at the list, like there's some crazy ones, but this one, like you said, like this is probably one of the first ones that people heard of them, especially when they're playing it on the Olympics, like at some point, you know what I mean? Now they played that 6 years after the album came out, but the fact that they chose to play that song means a lot. So like the whole world saw that, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's the song that they like promoted in the U.S. Like when you think about it, like they could have gone with any song. So the fact that it was just like this, at least for us, it just seemed like this random indie band or whatever from overseas. And I remember like MTV just like heavily promoting them out of nowhere. Like they just kind of blew up, but that was the song that they chose to just like constantly play on the airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's listen to it real quick. We'll get our opinions on the music and everything on this. Let's give it a listen. All right, jeez, dude, that I love that song. And once again, like to me, I feel like the drums are like the biggest thing in this album for me. The sound that it has, the style at the end, he still had to do his little with the hi-hat. I feel like every fucking song that he does that. I love that song.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's an absolute instant like classic. Like, and like that's the single. So if all you guys, if you're Strokes fans listening to this and you don't know the Arctic Monkeys that way, this is a song that I could recommend that you could be like, here, listen to this one first, and here's your like look into what the band
Yeah, it's a
is.
good introduction to like their early stuff.
Yeah. What do you think, Will?
It's very fun. I love this song, honestly, too. I remember they played this live. I was saying I didn't think they played any of their first stuff live, but they did play this live. And I remember seeing there's like a group of people in front of us. They had like their arms around each other, like kicking their legs in a line.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's exactly
Yeah,
like how you
but-
should dance to this song. Like it's a perfect like dancing song.
Yeah.
Like gets you like up and moving.
Yeah.
So one of the like the cool things about that, like that you brought up with like the dancing, is there's so many ways that you could dance to this song. Like I've literally seen people like in pits. I've seen people just like kind of bop around. Like it's such a cool song. It's diverse in that way, and you don't really. It's just hard to find a song like that. You know?
And it's a rock song. Like a lot of
Right.
rock songs that are really upbeat, it's more of like the headbang type stuff that
Yeah.
go
Right.
crazy. But this one, like Will said, when we saw this live, and I think we talked about this, but not on the pod. But when we heard this song live, like it's not even my favorite Arctic Monkeys song, but I think it was my favorite song that they played live that night. Because it's just the energy that people had
Yeah.
for this song. Because I remember being like in the concert and like turning to Will and being like, dude, like we were like, holy
Yeah.
shit, like what the hell?
Like that was the
Like-
song that was like it made me feel like the whole night started off felt like a dream.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe this isn't real. Like, you're just gonna wake up and it's like
When did they
Yeah.
play? Was it in the beginning?
It was at the end,
At the
right?
end. Wow.
I can't remember which one it was now.
Interesting.
I feel like
think
it was
at
the beginning.
end. Really?
We should look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, that's interesting just because, like, I don't know. That to me seems like, and maybe it's like at their age, like, that song takes a lot of, like, extra energy nowadays.
But no, they brought the energy that night. Like, it
yeah.
was great.
I just think, like, I don't know, man. Like, that's the type of song where if you really want people to realize, like, I'm at a fucking Arctic Monkeys concert in the year 2020. What was it, 23?
Yep.
You guys went?
Yeah.
2023, and I'm
Yeah.
listening to I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor as the opener. Like, that shit sets the tone for the rest of the night.
It was second to last.
Wow.
Oh,
It
really?
was right.
Interesting.
It was right before Are You Mine.
Yeah.
They played 1 Point Perspective before it.
Interesting.
Which is one of my favorites. But they had I Want to Be Yours listed as an alternate. That would have also been awesome.
Oh, it was an encore.
Yeah, it's an encore. Yeah, they had 3 songs for the encore. Body Paint was the like ending song before the encores, which is also interesting. But that song's really good live. But
I was gonna say, yeah, actually now I kind of remembering more because like it was the second to last song, and like when it ended after, like I still felt that energy. Like even
Yeah.
when we were just listening to it,
Yeah.
I still felt like the energy of the song in the room. Like
Yeah.
I still kind of feel it, but like it was just like what the fuck, like what
Yeah.
just happened, like
yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for anything in terms of an Arctic Monkey song, where just right off the bat you're ready to just put on the car and jam out to, this one's one of them. Let's talk about the music though. Which instrument stood out the most for you guys on this one?
Me personally, I would say either drums and guitar. Just constantly like boom, 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 just going at it.
Yeah.
And just like I can't like the middle part. It's kind of hard to like describe off just based off the sound right now. But the guitar just constantly going at it in the background. That's the part I pay attention to a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
It's a couple things. So like this album is very drum heavy.
Yep.
You can't escape it. You can't ignore it. But one thing that I want to say that because we don't often think of like voices as instruments, right? It's not the first thing you think of, but his voice in this song, like he carries it. Like when you're drumming like that hard, that fast, like it's hard to keep up with that kind of energy. But his voice is just as powerful, if not more powerful than the drums themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you take the vocals out of it and you put another singer in there, like the song is not the same. It doesn't hit the same.
The drums would take
like
over.
Exactly. Like the drums would be overpowering, but his voice at that time, I mean, he stole the whole song. Is really like still to me, like he is the center of that song still, even with that powerful background.
Yeah. To me, I think like this album's gonna be for me like a big drum focused album. Like I just love everything that Matt was is doing with it. Like Alex's vocals are incredible throughout the whole album, but I think there's other albums where his vocals shine more than like the music sometimes.
Yeah.
And this album I think is a very like music heavy album for me. Like I love this like specificities, is that the word I'm looking for, of like each instrument is doing its own thing in every song like this, and it's iconic. Everything that the drums doing, the bass, the guitar's doing, it's a riff, it's a certain pattern on the drums that he's playing, like. And what's crazy is like you get The View from the Afternoon right into a song like this. Like there's no
break. They don't even give you a break to like catch your breath. It's just one like very fast paced, very like angry song over to another one. But like again, what's so cool about this one in comparison is like you could actually dance to this.
Yeah.
The View, like you really can't, like that's a pit song. You don't dance to that. You get in a pit and you just start swinging and throwing your body around.
Yeah.
This is just like same energy, same vibe, but they made it in a way where you could literally have fun and dance to it.
Yeah. That's that's what this song really does for everybody. And I think I think that's the long short of what this album can do. Hey Brendan, what do you think of this song? I bet you look good on the dance floor. I know you seem to want to talk a lot today. What do you got?
Give us your rating.
Yeah, Brendan. Okay.
Oh, is he saying it's a 1? I think I think he's saying that's a 1.
Wow. Yeah. On a serious note, guys, I promise there will come a time where we are in our own space where there will be no dog interruptions. So pardon that unprofessional aspect of this. At the moment, we're working with a limited space. We will have that. But guys, anything else on? What do you got for the lyrics, Will? You seem like you're the lyrics. Yeah, let's go into lyrics. You're our lyrics guy. Go ahead.
I just want to say, like, right off the bat, I like how, obviously, I feel like Alex Turner, he's obviously the vocals of the song, but he does, I believe, have, like, the monkeys come in like, the background, and your shoulders are frozen, and then they say, as cold as the night.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're an explosion, you're dynamite. Like, what? That's really cool. Then this is another thing I noticed. They do this in a lot of the songs where it's kind of like repetition, like bang, ba, ba, bang. Or like they say like the same ba, 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 or like ga, 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 ga.
Yeah.
That stuff, I like just singing along to that stuff. Like, it makes the song kind of like a little bit elevated. Instead of like, instead of saying like a rhyme or rhythm or something, like they just kind of like throw those little ba, 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 ba. And it kind of like goes along with the drums too when you're listening to it. So it's really fun. Those are kind of the lyrics I just kind of want to talk about.
Yeah, I definitely want to say, because like shout out to Matt, because I actually saw a list pretty recently where it was talking about, because drummers don't get credit for singing, right? It's not typically a thing, but it's really hard to drum and do backup vocals. And so I just randomly found this list, right? I don't know who it was. It might have been like Vanity or something. But he was listed as like 3rd all-time drummers that also sings.
Oh, really?
And this was like kind of like you saw early on. Like I feel like a lot of times with drummers, like you see that like later on as they get more comfortable. Drummers are usually kind of in the background in terms of like their personality. Aside from like their drumming style, that is obviously at the forefront of their playing, but it's just one of those cool things I definitely want to shout out. Like, he deserves credit because with his skill level and the just the intricate playing that he does, for him to even do backup vocals in such a fast-paced, violent song and not lose any of the energy or lose his way, is super impressive.
And it's not easy vocals on this.
It's not.
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty
and you see
belting it.
Yeah, and you see like later on in some of these other albums, he still does it. I've seen a lot of like acoustic sets that they do where like he is still singing and doing the acoustic drumming as well. So yeah.
And we don't want to discredit the guitar. If you're trying to find a guitar song from them, this is once again another one right after it. Yeah. So every single instrument and vocal of this song is dialed up to 11. So the first 2 songs in this album, if you're looking for something fast-paced to jam to, this album's for sure that for you. But I think we gave the Monkees a good amount of attention. Let's get over to the Strokes, shall we?
Are we doing the rating?
Let's do the rating first. Okay. All right. I don't want to go first anymore with
I'll go
that.
first.
Okay, go ahead. Give it to us.
Let's go youngest first. So I'll give this one actually a 5.
Another last 3 5s. Let's go.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
This might be a record. I'm curious to know.
I can't wait to hear what the 2s are.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
I want to say it's a 5 because like it's one that when it comes on, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm like waking up in the morning, I'm like I need some like fast paced music, and if this does happen to come on, I'm like I'm not gonna skip it. I'm just gonna be playing.
Yeah, we are starting with like, in terms of like the Arctic Monkeys like album they're starting with. We are starting with an album that does have like 2 bangers right after one after another. So I get it. We're not actually making fun of you. I'm kidding. You can give as many 5s as you want. It's what you feel for sure.
If they get multiple 5s, I mean, even more better for them. Like that's just impressive that this is their first album. And, this is their second song, and it's giving.
We should keep track actually
5.
of what.
Yeah,
how many.
We will.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that. Cool.
Yeah, Will's ahead with 3 5s now, right?
Today.
Wait,
yeah.
For the last episode, how many 5s did you give? Any?
For bonus, they both got 5s from me.
Okay.
The last episode, none of us gave 5. It was a 3 and 4. I gave It's the Set a 3, and you guys gave it 4s.
Yeah.
And I think I gave The View from the Afternoon also a 4, and I think I gave it a 4.
So what are you giving this?
I'm giving
one?
it a 4.
A 4, okay.
For sure. I don't skip this song, but again, this album's kind of tough because it starts with 2 bangers in a row, so it's tough to give either of these songs a 3 or a 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think just for like historical purposes and how this like without this song, we're not talking about this. We're not sitting down and talking about the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
They don't exist. You know what I mean? So like for that sheer fact, like it has to be a 5. Like this is the song that like gave them the platform to do everything else that we love later on. Mm-hmm. Without this song, like they don't break into the US.
That's
you know what I mean?
Imagine.
Like we just don't. Maybe this would be like a really like niche thing of like, oh yeah, you remember that band, the Arctic Monkeys? Like, the Arctic Monkeys. Oh right, yeah, that one weird band that we saw at the pub that one time. Like no, with this song, like literally launched their career. Mm-hmm. So I think for that fact, like, I have to give it a 5. Even like sometimes I do skip it just because like I've heard it a million times.
Yeah.
But that's no disrespect. Like it's an all time classic for them. It's one of their best. So.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 4s and a 5.
Yeah. Solid.
No, sorry.
Wait, no, 2
5s and a 4.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's solid. Well, we are gonna switch gears to the Strokes here with the Modern Age, which is the second track on the Is This It album. The dog will
like,
not shut up tonight. It's driving me nuts.
We're doing another song.
Oh my god. Let's see. Let's see. So, The Modern Age, released May 22nd, 2001 in the US, January 29th, 2001 in the UK. I couldn't find much in terms of the actual, like, facts about the song itself. So, like, there wasn't much I could find in terms about specific crazy facts about it. I don't know if you guys found anything in your findings.
Nothing specific, no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we're going to listen to it, but I know we all know that right off the bat, both the songs we're doing today are pretty, like, both of them are upbeat this time. It's not a slow one and a fast one, and it's not a fast one and a slow one. It's both fast songs here. So, You guys excited to get into this one?
Yeah, let's take a listen.
The modern age. Let's do a listen. All right, guys, that was the modern age. So a huge like difference between the start song is this to this one. It's upbeat. It's closer to a song that you would play while you're like you have the windows down and you're jamming out to that. I have so many thoughts about this song. This is one of my favorite Strokes songs. I love this song. The solo, I gotta talk about the solo first. Like that's the solo in this song is one of my favorite solos that they've ever done. I just love it. It's upbeat. It's catchy. It's perfect with the rhythm of the drums and. I have a lot of thoughts about the drums, but Manny, I'll leave that to you. I love this song. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of their best. Yeah, it's one of those songs that's so different from the first one. It's kind of like the first one was like this really good song, right? But like not as layered, right? So when you hear it, you're just kind of like when you hear, "Is this it?" It's okay. That was really good. I like that. This is them kind of saying like, hey, we could do some other shit too, though. Like, listen to this.
Yeah.
You almost wouldn't even think it's the same guys. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just such a different pace, a different tempo. It's just, it's a nice way to say like, hey, we can also do this kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you listen to them next to each other, you kind of get what they were doing with doing Is This It first and then this one. Because it was kind of like, Is This It's kind of like your intro song.
Yeah.
And then they're like, cool, now let's hit you. Because if you look at the next ones coming up, like every single song after this is upbeat. So it's really like, here's a taste of what we are. This is the theme of this album. Here we go. Now let's get into the real shit. But it starts with and I remember reading something about Julian saying like they told him that if he's gonna play drums, like you might as well in a rock band, you might as well just learn how to Julian said something like you better learn how to smash them, and he was like, all right, I guess. And this was the song that like they first did where he was just like banging the shit because this album starts with the
Yeah, I've read that as well.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So you can tell like the drums are big in this song. They're both both songs today are very drum heavy. But the guitars in this song are great. Obviously Julian's great, but I think the drums steal the show in this one once again, as well as the guitars steal the show, followed by the drums for me. If you guys are looking for a good Strokes guitar song, that to me, being a guitar player, like this is some of the most fun stuff that the Strokes have to offer. Because that upstroke, it's kind of like hard to play, to be honest with you, at least for me, unless you have the drum beat. Like I'd have to be like, hey drummer, or like Fab, let's go hit the, and then I can go.
Actually, I want to ask, do you know how to play that song?
Yeah.
So like, is it like upstroke and then like it's like a muted like, and then they grab the
whole thing. It's really you're going
like
this. It's not even just this. You're going like this because in between there's a beat that's.
What is it called? Not Chuck.
It's just a muted. It's a muted. I know there's. See, I'm a musician, but I don't use all the fancy words. To me, it's like it's
muted.
To me, it's
basically.
a muted string in between. Okay. I know there's a word for it. It's like a palm string. It's like, but you got it. It's an upstroke. It's not a downstroke. But a lot of songs on this album are hard to play because they're weird like that in weird time, and then there's songs like Hard to Explain where the whole thing is like do 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 do, and you're downstroking the whole song. If you go like this, like normal up and down, it doesn't sound the same. Like it's doing it, you have to go like this, and when you're watching them, you're like they're doing that, but it is really hard. So I know you were talking.
Look easy.
Yeah, I know you were talking about like drummers definitely have it way worse, but when there's songs like that, and there's not many where like the whole song is literally just like downstrokes or upstrokes, but that one is one, and then this one is kind of weird too. Yeah. Especially to go from playing that to right into a solo, like your arm is like tired as shit, and then you got that.
Yeah,
like
that's one cool thing too. That I mean, I always thought this was cool, just from the little bit that I know about like their upstart, is like Albert wasn't like when they found him, like he was not like a great guitar player. He wanted to be a great guitar player, and was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna dedicate myself, and so like the fact that it didn't take him that long. From wherever he was, whatever he showed Julian on that, because he was the last member, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so whatever he showed those guys was like enough that they were like, okay, cool, like we could work with that. But by the time that they came to record this, I mean that's incredible. Like that's not, something that like just a novice guitar player, but he even said himself, like, yeah, I was just kind of learning a lot, and you can hear it in a lot of their early music. of like these guys are just making sounds.
Yeah.
But they're phenomenal sounds and they're making it work.
So a couple things. I know we're gonna be wrong about some things because like I was bad. I didn't write any notes for this song. I should have. But Nick actually does the guitar solo in this one.
Does he? Okay.
So Nick has the solo and I'm sure from that on we should literally just probably watch live versions of the songs and just literally look at who's doing what because I know they like trade off on the songs that they're playing. But this one was Nick and I don't think there's a way that you can really tell who it ever is because they're both like equally as good with like doing the solos. Like like so many Strokes guitar solos are just top notch quality, but this one was Nick. We'll give Nick all the credit for this one. Will, lyric guy, what do we got here for the modern age?
I'm gonna look at it. I kind of like to skip around on the lyrics. I'm looking at them. I'm gonna skip around it. So I'm gonna go to like the last part because this actually I kind of posted this the other day, and when I was it was really nice the other day. Like the weather's been kind of crappy this week, and I always like gets my mood down. But it's like you said, like this is a good like summer type of song, like sunny day, going on a car ride, and we all work in retail, but I got to like take a little like 30-minute break. Well, it's my granted lunch, 30 minutes. I went outside. It was like really nice that day. I was like taking a couple laps around the store, just like walking around, and I had this going on. I was like, And then the part where it's just like, leaving just in time, staying for a while, rolling in the ocean, trying to catch your eye.
I love that line.
Hell
That's
yeah.
such a good line.
It made me feel like I was like in the summer for a second. And I was like sitting on a curb outside looking at the clouds. And I was like, oh, this is a really nice day. Work hard and say it's easy. That was just like a really crappy day I was having. I was like, I could feel that. Like, I'm working hard. I'm like, this is nothing to me. Like, but going to retail day in and day out, it's like, it kind of soul draining. So this song, just listening to that day, kind of like brought my spirits back, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's got good energy. The lyrics the lyrics. I feel like you can interpret a lot of different ways depending on what it is that you're going through in your life.
My favorite lyric from it is in the sunshine feeling in the sunshine feeling fun. It's in my blood. Yeah, it's in the sun having fun. It's in my blood. I just can't help it.
Speaking of that line, because I know you touched on like the music of like the drums and the guitars stealing the show. It's kind of the opposite for me. I think Julian's voice for me steals the show. Yeah, just because when you look at Is This It, he has like this kind of like monotone, like he's sad, but in this like he hits his range. He does a little bit of everything. Yeah, he goes
that
exactly.
Part, yeah, where is it?
That part. Like you can hear like oh, this guy has like flair and personality as a front man. Yeah. Whereas like you didn't really quite get that in Is This It? It just kind of seemed like a more cohesive thing. This one, he's like, hey, so you guys know, like I'm a front man.
Yeah.
And like as a band, that would worry me too. I'm like, what if I turn people off from having like Is This It first? But like. You just gotta have faith that like people are gonna give it a full listen. Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you're fine. I was gonna say like I was watching the song Modern Age. I was watching the live part last night. I think it was like I forget the name of the club, $2 Nickel Club or
that's the MTV one.
Yeah. And that part where he's like starts to go off. He was on the floor singing like the people. The energy in the room was kind of weird. Like the people in the front were like clapping and singing. Yeah, I would have been losing my mind and like jumping like. Yeah. I'm like, maybe because they're a little bit older, they're a little more like classy.
I think it's supposed to be like, so if you notice, and maybe it's hard to explain, but like they were right.
Strokes
but they were literally some of that was being filmed for music videos.
Oh,
so like so like they probably told the crowd like, hey, we're filming this, so like have fun, but like you know, don't be jumping all around everywhere because like I think you're right. Like in a normal setting, like people would have been a little bit more, you know, with energy.
Yeah.
But I love it.
But that was like right when it came out though. So people like they were just getting used to it.
Yeah, like they didn't really know the song yet.
Yeah, his energy in that is so funny though when you watch that back because he's like at one point like literally even like smoking cigarettes. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a early like NYC band, like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, take a couple drags here.
A couple drags.
Like he was really doing that. Like it's it was just cool. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, and then it's funny, Will, because this song had another like good, like just like you were saying in the in I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. Like it's a lot of I love when bands find a way to do stuff like that, but where it doesn't feel cheap and like it goes good with with this song, because I know a lot of bands when they do a lot of like like stuff like that, but they only do it because they obviously can't find a lyric to put in there.
Yeah.
But these ones, it makes sense when they do that.
It makes it really fun, like just to listen to the song.
It does, yeah. It's
Well, and like the way that I always interpreted that part is like he's saying go, but he's like hesitating.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Oh,
like a
I
cool
didn't even
way.
think about
yeah,
it
think
that
about
way.
it. Like when you're
Wow.
telling someone to go, but like, do I
Yeah.
really want them to go? So he's like, good. All right,
That's
go.
a really
You know what I mean?
Starbucks nerd type observation, right? there.
Yeah. So like that's just how I interpreted it. You know.
That's I
Like,
love that
yeah.
though. I
It's
love
like
that.
go, but I don't really want you to go.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I'm just all right. Go.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. I love that. Yeah, I mean you're right, Manny. The vocals in this one really do like, and that's what's cool about doing a podcast with three people that have three different opinions. Because like now that when I really think about the way that you're thinking, like I do, like Julian. I mean Julian's what. There's never a doubt in my mind that any song that the Strokes are doing that Julian doesn't take over at some point. Like it's literally Julian Casablancas. Dog, please.
He's clapping.
Oh
he agrees.
my God.
He
Okay.
agrees.
Okay. We're going to have to get a t-shirt. This fucker, we're going to have to start making money off him for him to be worth being in the room. But yeah, like it's always going to be, he's always going to have a major part. He's the lead singer. He's the front man. Now bass in this one, I don't know if I'm the only one that kind of caught on it. Like it's another song where he doesn't have major shining moments in this one, like with Is This It, with the do like but it follows the rhythm to like if you guys notice when it's the guitar solo, obviously like there's not a lot of second guitar in there. It's mainly just the bass, the drums, and the guitar solo. I can't really hear like Albert and Nick go. I think it's just Nick and the drums and the bass, and the way that he's playing the bass, just this flat while he's playing the guitar solo, but the way he has that tone, it goes hand in hand with how we were talking about how this album sounds like it's like a video game. Like that's how I kind of listen to it. I don't know if you guys noticed anything with the bass, but that's where my ears, the drums and then the bass, that's where it always goes. Nothing like super stellar from this one. So if you're looking for like a funky like bass line, this one's not it. It's just a normal.
It's a fun song though.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a good if you're not used to listening to a lot of their stuff. Or maybe you heard like their mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
This is a good like pivot from that. If you like their mainstream stuff, you'll probably really like this too.
Yeah. But guys, what do you think? Is it ratings time? Have we said everything we wanna say about this beauty?
I think I pretty got my thoughts out on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
It's a great one, guys. If you're looking at like this album, you can't really do any wrong, and this is a great segue into what this album's gonna be. From right after This Is It. So that's the modern age. I'm just gonna go right ahead and say it's a 4. I'm just gonna say it. Not a 5, but a 4. It's another song that I do not skip very often. I love every version of this because that's another thing. This is one of the songs that was on the Modern Age EP that he did a demo of. I encourage you guys to listen to it because it sounds different. Like you can tell it's very garage-like.
Yeah.
And the vocals and stuff, like Julian doesn't sound that much different. It's the music that sounds different in that one. It definitely sounds more like B-side type stuff. But every version of the song, whether it's live, whether it's the normal version, it's
good.
Great. So I love it. I'm definitely gonna give that one a 4.
I feel like I'm also gonna give it like a 4. I really want to say 5. It's just not like an absolute favorite. I do really love it though. Like it's a really fun song. It's actually been like on repeat recently for me. I put it on like my March playlist. Like it's not a personal favorite, but like it's still like when I think of the Strokes, this is the one. Like this is like kind of their sound. Like it's very distorted compared to like Is This It, which is like a little bit more mellow. This one's a little bit more like the upbeat and like very distorted. But I really like that distorted sound. It's kind of broken, but it's still like upbeat.
Yeah.
But I'll just give it a 4.
I think for the guitar solo alone, for me, like that's one of my favorite guitar parts the Strokes have ever done. So that's a big piece of why I gave mine what I did. I love the Nick's guitar performance in this one. What about you, Manny?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say a 4 also. It's a high 4 though. I don't wanna like just give out 5s.
Yeah, we can do low and high. That's fine.
Yeah,
We're still
it's
finding this ranking system.
Right. It's a very high 4. Because and the reason being is like, it's just such a pivot from Is This It? You kind of get an introductory of like, this is Julian. These are the other guys, and they really like kick it up a notch and show you a whole different side of themselves, a different vibe, right? So it's a high 4 just alone for that, just like them showing like their overall talent. Yeah, it's hard to, it's hard to really put in the words. I really like Will. I want to give it a high, like a 5.
Yeah.
But I want to save the 5s for like that's a legendary song for me.
There's certain reasons why I give songs 5s. So I see what you mean.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like a personal preference, and that's fine. I think like because I gave the Arctic Monkeys song a 5, like because of it was like a legendary status. I can't say that this like kickstarted the Strokes, you know what I mean? So it's a little harder to compare it in that way, but I do really think it's a good just kind of switch up of them showing more range and more personality in there. It's what's to come later on. So it's a high 4 for me.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's definitely, I think we're all kind of on the same page with this song. Is that the first one we've done where we've all given the same score?
I think so.
Awesome.
Maybe.
I think it is. Maybe.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, I think it is. Maybe not. But yeah, guys, that was the modern age, and I bet you look good on the dance floor.
Hey. So, this is the part where we're talking about like other artists. This is actually a part I look forward to a lot. Because I like sharing music. It's like one of my like love languages. Like the fact that we get to sit here and talk about these two bands is really fun. But now we get to the part where we could like throw out these names to the other artists. So this morning I was listening to The Symposium by The Symposium. So the album's called The Symposium. The band is called The Symposium.
I know that band. Yep.
Very fun album. Give it a listen.
Yeah, that's a good one. I forget what song on that. I think it's called Half-Life. If I'm thinking of the same band, I forget. You'd have to show me. I've been in an I don't know how, but they found me mood recently. Specifically the song Kiss and Tell from their newest album. They literally just released it like last month. Can't even believe it's been a month already. But it's a band called I Don't Know How, But They Found Me. It's the bassist for Panic at the Disco when he left the band and created his own band. And he was the leader of the Brobecks, which was another alternative band from like way back in the day. Everything about that band is like interesting to me. They're very like techno robot like style type stuff. Not to the degree of like Daft Punk type thing, but like he definitely does a lot with like futurism and stuff like that, which is really cool. I love it. And he's a bass player, so like there's some really fucking good bass playing and everything that he does. So if you haven't checked them out before, it's literally called I Don't Know How, But They Found Me. That's the band's name. That's who I've been into recently. What do you got, Manny?
Yeah, so probably a band that like a lot of people know, so it's not like some indie thing, but I just like kind of talking about what I'm listening to, what I'm in the mood for like that week. And one of my favorite bands is Vampire Weekend. A lot of like weird sounds and like the vocals are strange and like, and it's just classic stuff. Like I don't know, you find a lot of their songs are like in movies and stuff, and so like when I hear the songs, I oftentimes think of like Step Brothers and like all these like classic these classic movies that I love, and it's just so funny that like so many of my favorite actors are like plugged into this band. Like Will Ferrell, like he uses Vampire Weekend songs in a lot of his movies because he actually likes that band. And so if you haven't heard like a lot of their non-mainstream stuff, definitely take a listen. It's it's definitely a deep dive. I like bands where like you kind of discover them later and it's like, holy shit, these guys have like 5 or 6 albums of stuff I haven't heard, and now you have like it's like discovering it all new, right? So definitely take a listen to them if you have only ever heard like their mainstream, their silly stuff.
Step is my favorite song by Vampire
Step
Weekend.
is great.
I love that song.
They made A-Punk too.
A-Punk, my favorite song from theirs is probably either like Unbelievers or Diane Young. Diplomat Son is really good too.
They're a really good alternative band.
Yeah, they're weird. Like I really wish that I could like sit down and just like like someone that's been in a band, like everyone has a different process. Be really interesting to like sit in a room with them and like, how do you guys come up with this? Because it's a lot of stuff that like even as a musician, like I wouldn't really think to do, but they do it and it works. So that would be my recommendation this week.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, guys. Well, that was episode 2. Done. How we feeling after that?
I'm excited. I want to hear back from the feedback.
Yeah, yeah. That's the biggest thing we want to take away from these first couple episodes. We need to hear from you guys, hear what we can change. Because we want to make sure that this style doesn't get stale, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure it's fresh for everybody and what you guys want to hear. So thank you to everyone who checked out episode 1. Thank you to everyone who's checked it out in general. Again, all of our socials are in all the descriptions in the link tree. Every single podcast platform you find it, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at some point probably if we're gonna be up to the modern age here. No pun intended. I swear to God, that was not in the script. But we'll make sure we add all that stuff in there so you guys can find us. But definitely leave comments. And with the cringe stuff, like, subscribe, leave reviews. That, of course, goes a long way. We really, really appreciate it. I just created a Reddit community for us. No clue what I'm doing on Reddit, but I created it anyway so that when we post, you guys have a place to actually go to a page. So definitely check that out. That's where we'll be posting in the Strokes subreddit. So we'll be, I know you guys will see us there, but I learned my lesson from the first time, so don't worry. I'm not going to spam. It's only one post a week. I promise. I've talked to the moderators. One post a week is all I'm going to do. Just make sure you guys comment so we can see and read your guys' stuff off here, every week. But, thank you guys for listening. You guys have a great night or a great day whenever you guys are listening. We will see you next week. And we love you guys.
Peace out. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Jared here. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. You can find us on all our socials at Karma and Tranquility, and Twitter, Karma and Tranquil. Our link trees are posted in every single description on every social, so you can access everything that we have to offer. And we will see you every Wednesday for our normal episodes and every Friday for a bonus episode.